Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm pretty excited today. I'm joined by actress Erin Michele Soto. So, welcome, Erin.
Hey.
We've been trying to connect for a little while.
Yeah.
We had some time zone issues, and we worked through it, and here we are.
Yep. Here we are.
We did it.
We made it.
We made
Congratulations
it! Yay! Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
Big fan of yours. I think you're so talented.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I've been watching Studio City, and I love it. And you're my favorite. You're not just mine. My wife and I. You're our favorite character on there. We think you're hilarious, and every scene you're in, that's our favorite scene.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
So, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, and I'll back up. But are we getting season 2? I know it got slowed down because of the pandemic.
Yeah, it did get slowed down because of the pandemic, but it also got sped up. But anyways, so they're working on some bigger and better stuff. And so that's I can divulge news once I have exact news on everything.
Yeah.
We got slowed down due to pandemic, but it at the same time, because it won Outstanding Digital Drama Emmy this year, it actually kind of made things speed up, I think, a little bit. And, because of that, things can get, bigger and better. So fingers crossed for some, good news. So that's kind of where we're at for now.
So. Yeah. So you haven't filmed anything yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. So it's available on Amazon Prime. Can you find it anywhere else except for Amazon?
Right now, it's exclusively on Amazon Prime.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. And I love it. You can binge the whole series pretty quick because they're fairly short episodes, but you pack a lot into each episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We like your character because it always seems like there's a lot going on with your facial expressions. And it's like you're conveying a lot, even if you're not saying anything. So we like that.
There's a lot going on.
It's such an interesting show because it's like a show within a show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Because you've got I guess it's kind of like a soap opera type show going on inside the show.
Yeah. So Studio City is about, there's Studio City has a TV series called Hearts on Fire.
Yeah.
And so I play 2 characters on the show. I play Anastasia and Christina. So Christina is, I'm an actress, and my character, so my name's Erin Michele Soto, and I play Anastasia, who is the character on Hearts on Fire. And Christina is the actress who plays Anastasia. So
not confusing at all.
It's I play 2 people, which I love. It's really fun because I get to play 2 people.
That's right. Do you have a preference?
I get asked that all the time, but no, because then it's fun. They're different, and I mean there's differences and similarities with both of them, and they're still developing, but one is slightly more spicy than the other, but yeah, I'm finding little flickers of that in the other, one's more spicy, but the other one has a little bit of aggressive and forwardness to her, but she's kind of soft. So it's different. It's hard to explain. So
you got to watch it.
Yeah.
So it looks, just from watching, it looks like it's such a good cast, but it looks like as a cast, you've got a lot of really good chemistry. Was that the case?
Yeah, it worked out right away. I mean, we came together really quickly, and it just worked out brilliantly. We lucked. I don't want to say lucked out, because it was, that's just how it worked, but it just worked, and it was really great. So
our good friend Patricia Darbo,
Oh, yeah.
And I talked to her a couple weeks ago when we were going to have you on, and she just raved about you. She said you were the nicest person, just a really talented actor. She really enjoyed, doing some work there on the show with you. So I wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. Patrika's awesome.
She's the best.
Yeah, I have yet to do. I haven't done any scenes with her.
Yeah,
Which
that's
I
what
don't.
she said. She said
Yeah,
she wants that to change, though.
yeah, that would be amazing. I don't know how that would work quite yet, but that would be awesome.
But she's
'Cause-
playing the mom, right, of the lead actor.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Kanan. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean. And she's so great. We were lucky enough to have her on the show last year during the pandemic, and I mean she's hilarious and such a good actor. I mean she's been doing this for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Patrick, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. A big fan of hers. Everything I told her when she was on the show, everything that I have seen her in, whenever she shows up, that's going to be a better scene. Like it's going to be funny as soon as she shows up.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way back. I think the first time I remember seeing her, she was on Seinfeld back in the '90s. And I mean, as soon as she showed up, it's hilarious. Just, I don't know, it's kind of went from there. But anyway, she had very nice things to say about you.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I jumped ahead a little bit. Let's back up. So when you were growing up, what made you want to get into entertainment? How did you go about that?
Gosh, I don't want to say I was born into entertainment because it's different. My mom was a ballet dancer. And so,
Yeah.
I started dancing. I started my first dance class when you can start like those little baby dance classes when you're 18 months old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My oldest was a dancer growing up. So, yeah.
Okay.
All the way
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah. So I started, when I was, just literally my very first memory is me staring at myself in the mirror at the dance.
Was it a ballet class or was it just
ballet class?
Yeah.
And I just remember, my first teacher, she was like, go down the elevator, which is plie, come up the elevator. And like, it's just, those are my first memories. And like, looking at my tutu and, doing all those different things. So I just, I guess that was my first, and like looking at the lights, like I find comfort, like being on stage and like finding comfort in front of lights. I just like, as soon as I feel light, I'm like, okay, this is comfortable.
That's actually really, as an actor, that's pretty useful.
It's useful in that sense. Like I'm more comfortable. It sounds weird, but like I found more comfort, like personal, like real conversation, like other things. It was easier if there's like lines or choreography or this or that. Like it became more comfortable than real life.
Right.
So like, just because that was like, I don't know how to explain it. But as far as like acting though, that kind of started, that was self, like, I just started creating, like writing, creating, making my own plays when I was like around 7.
Wow.
And it was just something that I started doing, and my grandparents really helped support that. I like created this play and drove my friends nuts. It was called The Silly Ones, and I made everyone rehearse with me.
Did you charge admission?
Yeah, I wanted to. I had this huge play. It took me 3 years to make it. It had like 7 acts, 7 characters, 20 dances. Like I literally drove all my friends crazy. And so I had to stop or I'd have no friends left. But yeah, it just kind of was self, like I would just loved theater and did my first play when I was 7.
That's amazing. Did you do theater through high school?
I didn't. it was, and I wish that I really followed what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
but it wasn't cool, and I had to give up. It I listened to what other people wanted me to do,
Yeah.
and I was scared of, like, there were so many other factors. I ended up going for sports, and kind of listening towards where I was being put with my parents and this and that,
Right.
like where they thought that they wanted me to be.
What kind
Or
of sports were you playing?
well, I was doing like gymnastics and dance and
Oh,
cheerleading,
yeah.
track, and so those sorts of things. And it wasn't like out of a negative thing. They were just trying to guide me.
Sure.
Um, and then I got back into theater. I ended up doing theater in college and got
Oh,
a scholarship and stuff like that. So
yeah. That's pretty good. Do you sing?
I did, like, I did musical theater
Yeah.
a little bit in college. I'm not a singer by any means, but I do sing, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, it does. It does. So you can at least, you don't embarrass yourself on stage. You can hold a tune.
I'll get by. So, if people need me to, I'll get by. It's more it's my own self that gets in my way of my voice
Right.
when I sing. And so if I can get myself out of my way, then I sing better.
Yeah.
So,
No, that makes perfect sense. That
yeah.
makes perfect sense. Did I see that, or I may have read it somewhere, that you were playing a mermaid in something coming out?
So I'm supposed to, and if we'll see if this does happen or doesn't happen. We'll see. But like, if that does happen, then I will be playing a mermaid in a film. It's called Deep Bay of Bengal. I don't know the status of that project, or what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
But I had a we'll see what happens from there, and if it actually does happen. But if it does piece together, it will be a large project.
Are you the villain?
No.
An evil mermaid would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have read a script with an evil mermaid. So
No, you haven't.
I very much have.
Well, you should have taken that one.
Yeah, it's not being made yet, but I have read a script with an evil mermaid. I have
Yeah.
no idea if it's being made, but I did once read a script with an evil mermaid.
So you have done some stand-up comedy?
I have done some stand-up comedy. I I don't know if I'm going back or what I'm doing with stand-up comedy. I've written a few jokes in my time. I did a couple years of it, done some stand-up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something I do or have done, and I'll decide if I'm going back to it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So easier doing comedy or acting?
I love acting. Acting is, I'm an actor. It's
Yeah.
who I am
Okay.
and what I do. It's the stage is, I just found like some comfort on the stage, and I like the lights, and I see people there, and I talk, and I can do jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's more or less just the stage.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Can you still dance?
I can't. So I had to leave because of my, I had an injury, and that's why I stopped.
Oh. Yeah.
And what's interesting is during coronavirus, I've started to move around just a little bit.
Yeah.
I have, it's hard. When I started so little, my whole identity became me as a dancer.
Right.
And that was my identity. And when I got injured, it's when you once were that and you were a certain level and you can no longer do that, it's almost like you don't want to do it at all because you can't be that or be that.
That would have to be really hard. I mean, very similar to a athlete in another sport.
Pretty much.
When you're hurt and you can't be at your best or at your previous level, very difficult.
Yeah. So, it's like, okay, maybe I can do, a little bit. And I finally started to like come around and, we'll see. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe I can do like a little bit just for fun or, I don't know.
Well,
But
yeah, you
I,
got to do it at least for fun.
yeah. So, I realized that there's like some stuff that I could give maybe as like a character or something like that. Cause I do have stuff that like I can bring that like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
See, this is your next project. You're a former dancer that suffers an injury, you're a professional dancer, have to give it up, and then accidentally start solving crime.
What?
That's your next project. You'll have to write it. I'm just the idea guy.
Yeah.
It's like you're down on your luck, everything, and then you just kind of fall into solving mysteries.
Okay.
I think it's a hit. There's something there.
There's something there. Or I could bounce back and dance or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you definitely could. So you have also done some writing.
I've done a little bit of writing. I wrote Shirley and Shelly,
Yeah,
which was a web series. It won some awards. So I won Best Actress at Film Fest LA for that, which was great.
that's
Um,
pretty good. So what is Shirley and Shelly about?
Shirley and Shelly is about two girls figuring out life and making a lot of mistakes in the process.
So
So
which one's the one that's kind of got it together, and which one's the screw up?
Shirley's the screw up, and I'm the screw up.
Oh, that's pretty good. So was that an idea that just came to you, and you got it down and kind of turned it into a series?
Yeah, it was. So I was just in an acting class with Helena, and who played Shelley,
Yeah.
and we had good chemistry. And so then we were like writing stuff down and figuring out what the heck are we, gonna do. And then as we were writing scenes, just sort of a series started to come together. And then all of a sudden, people started coming on board who were like, oh, well, we want to film. We'll help you. We'll do this. We're like, really? And so we ended up shooting an entire series for like nothing. And we're like, okay. And then, I was like, well, where are we going to do this? Where are we going to put this? And just like this whole thing kind of came together, which was completely unanticipated. And so then people are like, well, what are you, like it kind of came, most people plan things before they put it together.
Right.
And it kind of came together backwards and ended
Right.
up successful. And then we had people being like, so are you gonna like sell this to a network? Like it's really good. Or like, and
Yeah.
then we had some people on, we had this producer of, oh gosh, like Fear the Walking Dead, who was like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
like come, like we'll turn into like season 2 and write this. And I was like, we're still figuring out things. Like we don't know what we're doing. So it just turned into this like thing, and we didn't even know what we're doing yet, So, but anyway,
That's exciting.
yeah, it got really exciting really fast. But it was just, it turned into a lot of work for two people who,
Right.
yeah. So I was like, well, that was fun. And then Studio City happened. So,
Will you ever go back to it?
I think that, there's an idea there. It's a lot of work for me to be like writing, creating, producing, doing that sort of thing.
That's a lot of hats.
Yeah, it's a lot of hats. I feel like if someone like I know my character well, if I could find someone who knew how to like pretty much write that, like help me like do all those things, I'd consider
Right.
it. But I have to go where my heart is. And
Right.
this is one thing that I really also learned through that process and through some really good friends. And they saw me how I was with that. And they were like, look, and some other things, they're like, you're an actor. You need to just do that. Like, just act, like do what you do. And it's not that, because it came together really well, but they also saw where like my happiness is, where I am best. what I do well, when things like
Right.
tend to really go well. And they just said, just act, just do those things. And those were my
Yeah.
good friends.
Well,
And
yeah, that's good friends. I mean, that's good advice. You know, if you're doing something, but you're just exhausting yourself and you're not really happy because you're just overwhelmed,
yeah,
you need to cut back some.
yeah,
Concentrate on what makes you happy.
yeah. I met, oh gosh, what's her name? There's this comic who, oh gosh, she's one of the most famous female comics who writes, creates, and produces her own shows.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember her name right now. She's Whitney Cummings.
Oh, Whitney Cummings. Yeah, yeah, and you're right. She's pretty famous.
And she seems to like that. That seems to be an area that she succeeds at and loves
Right.
at. And that's what she does. And like, that's not me. And
Okay.
that's when I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, this is someone who does that, and that's what they do. And I guess this is how you know who you are and what you do and where you
Right.
belong. And to see it from someone who does it that way, and then like, it's because, this is me, like how I am, and like getting to know, I think there's always like self-discovery and like knowing who you are.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's terrific. That's pretty good advice for anybody. To there's no point in doing something that isn't really you. You got to be true to yourself, I think.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. So I have this is what I like to do is when I see somebody in something, I try to remember where I've seen them before. So you got to help me with this because I'm probably wrong, but I have this memory of you being in. It was like there was a lot of MMA fighters in it. Did you do something with like Chuck Liddell and who's the other guy? Tito.
Silencer.
What's it called?
Silencer.
Silencer. That's it. I knew I had seen something. What was your role in that?
So I'm in the very I'm basically I open and close the film, and I am in the I'm like the AA I speak in AA. I'm like the person.
Yeah. That's it. I knew I could see you in my head. I was like, I've seen her in something. I was like, I remember people that were in it. I was like, for the life of me, could not remember the name of it. With that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, you were really good in that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. You were good enough that I was like, I've seen her.
Yeah.
Because that's been a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2018 or 19.
Yeah. So, how did you spend your time last year, especially when we were locked down? Did you pick up any new skills? Did you try anything new? I'm assuming you were doing like remote auditions.
Yeah. So I did one thing, which I laugh at, but randomly. Okay. So I got hired by this company where they're like, hey, you have in 3 weeks, can you like write, create, produce a 30-minute series
That
and
all?
put it up on and put it up on a site. But when you're at home, like you just go, I don't know. Okay. So but it had to be shot vertically, like this way, and then put on like this new it's like, it's not Instagram, but it's like a new like platform. And so but they had to be shot in 1-minute clips, so like each one is like 30-minute clips. And so I decided to create my own 31-minute clip series and call it Nightmare on Vlog Street. And
was it a horror show?
it was a horror comedy.
Oh yeah, very good.
And I thought that it was, I was like, oh, this is just going to be some dumb thing that nobody watches. Number one, it was really hard to do, to write, create, produce, edit when you have nobody and you're in lockdown, and there are no editing apps to shoot vertically. So, so you have to get all of the sound in while you're shooting, which doesn't sound like anything, but if you're shooting on your phone and you need to get phone rings, clicks, ticks, rings, or anything like that, you have to get that. And when you have nobody shooting you,
a little bit difficult.
Everything becomes really difficult. Anyways, nothing about shooting and filmmaking, but anyways, I have one other person with me, and we had to get like doorbell rings, and it became complicated. Anyways, lo and behold, it ended up getting like 200,000 hits.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe this. But yeah, people thought it was pretty funny because I ended up having like, it was this girl who was like, she's like vlogging this like beauty like channel thing. And, you know, so I'm like, oh, come watch me. Da, 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 da. And then I'm like, and then I get this like doorbell ring and I'm like, who's at the door? And then I'm like, nobody's there. And then all of a sudden, it's like, and then like something like crazy shows up in my door, and I'm like, oh, it's Postmates. And then all of a sudden something shows up, and then I get a phone call. It's like, I'm after you. And then I'm like, who's that? And then like, you know, and then I'm like, who's watching me? And then they're like, I'm gonna get you. And then I'm like, who's that? And then all of a sudden the lights flicker on and flicker off, and like, you know, all of that sort of stuff. And then like all of a sudden this like really cheesy, like who's my boyfriend, he shows up, and he's dressed in this really funny costume. I turn it around, and he has like his eyes closed, and he's holding a knife like this. And so it just turns into like this really funny, cheesy, like over the top thing where it's supposed to be comedic.
That's awesome.
And so then he like chases after me in slow motion. So.
I gotta watch that. That sounds awesome. So was he like a willing participant, or did you have to drag him into it?
I drug him into it.
I knew it. That's even funnier.
He was like, I have 4 hours. And that also became part of the planning. I was like, oh, great. Okay. I have 4 hours. So I had to plan this all out. And then also I knew that I'm in my apartment complex. And if I scream, someone might call the police on me. So I'm like, okay, I have a short period of time. Someone might call the police on me. You know, like I have all of these things that I'm like, so I map out, you know, I'm in a pretty big complex. So I had to like map out the entire complex of like what's going on. And then like all these things ahead of time. And so then I had it like mapped out. I have this like whole thing. Anyways, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I got to watch that. That sounds hilarious. How did you do the screams? How did you manage that? Did you go around and tell all your neighbors, hey, don't worry, I'm not getting killed over here?
Well, I actually put a note on my door saying, please don't
filming
call.
In progress.
Please don't call. I'm really, you know, we're in pandemic, and like I'm just bored. I need to shoot something. Don't call the police on me, and don't call downstairs.
Please don't get me in trouble. I'm thinking that most people would have been like, she's probably just bored. They weren't even worried. It was like, yeah,
you wouldn't even be surprised. Like, I mean, like I have people, I tried tap dancing once and I got a phone call. And I got a noise violation for tap dancing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a little much. I mean, if it's 3 a.m., maybe.
No, yeah, I know. 3
p.m. I mean,
yeah.
Come on. So when you were in dance, did you do? I know you did ballet, but did you do all the dance?
I did everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
My best actually was tap. So.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I know when my oldest went up through high school, and a lot of competitions, which were exhausting as a parent. I can't even imagine as the person in them, because they go all day.
Oh yeah, they go all day. Did you have to go to all of those?
I was at all of them.
Okay.
I was at all. Now I didn't have to go to all the practice, so that helped. But yeah, competition day, I was there.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Wow. Well, the whole family was. You know how that goes. Whole family's there.
Oh wow, you're a good dad.
Well, and it's great for the 3 or 4 times during the day that she was out there.
Yeah.
But then, then you have to watch everybody else's kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, it's a big ordeal.
Yeah. No, it was actually a lot of fun. It's funny because there's certain songs that'll come on the radio and that's what I'll think of is because they're songs that she danced to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if she misses it. I kind of miss it a little bit.
Yeah. It's either you get there's 2 ways you go. You either get burned out and then you're like, I'm done. Or it's like, oh, I miss it,
Yeah.
Or,
well, it took a few years.
Yeah.
Once I was away from it for a few years. Mm-hmm. But now she's got a little one now that's getting ready to turn 2. And she's already dancing around.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, here we go again.
Yeah. It's happening.
It's happening. I know where this leads. So is there a genre that you haven't done that you would like to do?
Oh gosh, there's so many genres because I do Shakespeare
that's impressive.
And oh yes, I'm actually about to do a reading after this, and so I would love to do some Shakespeare.
Yeah,
like a period piece, something like that would be so much fun.
It's not easy to read.
It's not easy to, especially like right now I'm doing cold reading Shakespeare. I'm with a company.
Oh wow.
It's really hard, but it's making us really fast. And so it's, you have to think quick and go and perform and just go. Yeah,
because it's a style of speaking that you kind of have to, it's like a skill you got to develop.
It's a skill, but you want to try to make it sound regular English.
Yeah.
So you want to make it sound normal so anyone can understand it. And so that's the challenge. And also you're interpreting, there's the pentameter, there's all these different things you want to do and make it so that everyone can understand. So, so it's all of that. And,
that's great.
That's the thing. But also I would really love to do like a DC comic action film.
I was hoping you'd say superhero.
I really want to play like Supergirl.
I know. And there's like a zillion shows out right now.
Yeah.
You have to get on one of them.
I would love that. I would
Supergirl, I'm sure she's got cousins or something.
I don't know. Something.
If you read, I'm a comic book guy. So if you read the comic books, there was all kinds of other women superheroes coming in and out.
Oh gosh, there's so many different there's so many different superheroes. And I'll dye my hair like whatever color it takes.
That's right. That's what you tell them. We don't care. Pick your collar. Let's go.
Yeah. I know there's somebody with like purple hair and like,
you used to run a little bit. Maybe you could be a speedster.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much anything, yeah. So
we got to make that. I'm going to make some phone calls.
Do it.
I'm going to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever superhero. I just saw, gosh, what is it? I was watching The Boys. Have you seen The Boys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of course. So they have Starlight on there. Yeah. And I was like,
you could have done that.
I could have done that. And so I was like, maybe she has a sister.
So The Boys, very violent, right? It's the show is so tame compared to the comic books. The comic books are so much worse. I mean, they're terrific, but just they're a lot. There's like I watched the show and I was like, oh, that's really good. I think I'm gonna go back and read the comics. I read the comics. I was like, well, there's no way they could put all that in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But they're coming back with a new season. There's still time. We could still get you on.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I would love to be on
I got some phone calls to make.
That'd be awesome.
We got to get that done.
Yeah.
I don't want to tie you up because I've got this, dancer turned, private investigator.
Yeah. out, but sure.
I guess it could be dancer turned superhero.
I like that more.
There we go.
Yeah.
There was a, let me think. There was a X-Men comic called Dazzler. And she was like she was kind of a dancer, but she was a skater.
Huh.
And she had light powers.
Light powers is in like the lights?
Yeah, like she like could do things with light. So she could make it, like bursts of light, really bright, or like laser beams, that type of thing.
I like that.
Yeah, but you'd have to wear roller skates, and she was disco, so she had like a disco outfit on and roller skates.
Interesting.
Yeah, see, people like the kind of obscure stuff. I think that's what we need. Dazzler. I mean, she had, you'd have to poof up the hair. She had the kind of late 70s, early 80s hair.
Interesting. Yeah, you wig that. That'd be a lot.
Oh yeah, you could wig that up. I don't know. You might be able to tease that up. I mean, you've got a better shot than I would have.
Yeah. Well, you could always wig that too.
Well, in the 80s though, I had like Sean Cassidy hair. So I had the feathered, and it was down to my shoulders and curly, and I was very proud. I was proud of it, but I hated it because it just took so long. And I didn't treat it right, and then it went away, and now I'm like, oh, I miss my hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, where'd my hair go? It's gone.
Here we go. I was like, I should have treated it better when it was here.
Yeah.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for doing this. This is. I knew it'd be good. Studio City is so good, and you're such a good actress. I know we're going to see you in a ton of things going forward. Can't wait.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. Before I let you go, we know we've got a possible mermaid movie coming out. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you have upcoming that we can kind of keep an eye out for you in?
We'll see. There's a couple of things that I'm waiting for. I'll find out some news in a few weeks on some stuff. So, yeah, I mean, fingers crossed it comes from the top down. But we'll see. But there's, if one thing happens and another thing happens, and yeah. But,
all right, yeah. That's very, very exciting. So where can we find you on social media? Because I'm assuming when concrete things happen, you would put it on social media.
Yeah, everywhere at Erin Michele Soto. ERIN. Michelle is with one L. A lot of people get that confused. So, yeah, Instagram is my best location. So yeah. I had a TikTok. I took it down, and I'll probably get it back up. And yeah. So. Hey,
I'm impressed with that one. I've figured it out enough where I can go in there and watch some things, but that's too much for me. I can't. My son does some of that, but I couldn't do it.
It's very time consuming, and I've had a thing with, I just really want to focus on my art right now, and so I'll get it back up once I have some more time.
You wouldn't think, because you just do them in like 1 minute segments. You wouldn't think that would take much time. There's a lot of setup if you're going to do it well.
There's a lot of setup if you do it well. And I'm one of those persons, if I do things, I want to do it well. And so I realize I have to take pause, because this can be very time consuming.
Yeah. That's right. We're concentrating on dancer turned superhero or private detective right now.
Exactly.
Once that gets finalized, then we can worry about other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Erin, hold on 1 second. All right, so that was Erin Michele Soto. Such a talented actress. It was so much fun to get to talk to her. The show is Studio City, season 2 to be announced. But do yourself a favor and go check out the first season. Really, really funny, good show. Great cast. So check that out. Yeah, I know we'll see Erin in so many more things going forward. Really talented. Thank you guys so much for joining us again this week. Really appreciate that. If you haven't done so already, you could help us out by going to YouTube, MeisterCon Pod. Give us a like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. You can also find we're pretty close to 300 episodes now on our website, meistercon.com. It's got all the audio, all the video episodes. It's got a terrific, funny, geeky blog from Brett, and you can find out anything that we have going on, any shows that we're going to, anything like that. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to Erin. Till next time. Bye, everybody.